Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Our first podcast episode of the year 2025. And hopefully we can get these out at least every 2 weeks is the goal. Like, I really,
the most consistent podcast
of all time. Like, we say this
consistent.
every time we put out a new episode, but this time it's a new year. It's a new leaf to turn over. You know what I mean? So yeah, we got like a multitude of topics we're going to be discussing here today. But if this is your first time here, you love talking movies, pop culture, TV, cinema, games, anything related to pop culture, do us a favor. Like the video, subscribe, and click that bell. Helps us out a ton. It's completely free. And yeah, we've got a lot to talk about.
We got a special
news
one today. We got some good stuff today.
We do, and yeah, it's been a great year for 2024. You know, some people comparing it to 2023, and no, it was a good year, and 2025 is looking, you know, dare I say, massive. Okay, but look, we're gonna go ahead and get into this. Obviously, as always, you can follow our socials. Our handles are right below us. And if you ever want to send in questions, we will absolutely 100% answer them on the podcast. You can go to that link, send us a little donation, asking us something. We'll cover it on the next episode. But yeah, we're going to go straight into topic number one. Jason Momoa has been cast officially now as Lobo in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This starts shooting at the time of this recording next week. In a week, we will start the Supergirl train of news, and I think Lanterns is soon as well, so that'll start. Okay. But yeah, go ahead and give your thoughts on Jason Momoa as Lobo in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Anything, take it away.
Okay, so let's get one thing out of the way, right? It's a fit. Right, it's a fitting casting. When you look at Jason Momoa and hear him speak, I could see the Lobo in him. And honestly, Jason Momoa, he probably wasn't even like the biggest Lobo fan, like when he was a kid or growing up or anything. Right. Like, he probably genuinely just like looked in the mirror one day and was like, "Dude, I just like saw Lobo. Like my little nephew just showed me Lobo. I'm kind of like Lobo." like I feel like it was a case of like, he just
was
came
a pretty
to the realization
reoccurring
of
character
like,
in the animated series. That's where I love like him the most.
Jason Momoa came to the realization that he's like Lobo. Like, yeah. I feel like I can
turn this guy into a franchise myself.
Now I will say, kind of sucks that he's not Aquaman. I wonder what their plans for Aquaman are going forward. If they want to do something closer to like a Jason Momoa, you know, reinventing the character, giving him, you know, something different, or if they're going to go with the more classic comic approach, I wonder. But I also wonder how Jason Momoa, I mean, obviously from here, it looks like he doesn't care, but him going from like an A-lister with his own billion-dollar movie to like the side character in the Supergirl movie is a change of pace. But at the same time, it's like, what can you really do? Jason Momoa could have not been casted at all in this universe as anything.
And it's like the dream role for him, though. Like,
that's what I'm saying. And it's a role that he kind of feels like he
no matter
fits
what.
In once. So,
and I also think this might lead to like a solo project. But
I also wonder if they're going to use Jason Momoa's likeliness, obviously, but I wonder if they're going to go the CGI route and just like, do some face replacement or something, or if they're just going to get Jason Momoa super jacked and dress him up in, you know, biker gear and chains and stuff like that.
I think that's what's gonna be more of.
I wonder how much stake he's gonna have in the Supergirl movie. Like, I wonder. I haven't read Woman of Tomorrow, but I wonder how much he's gonna share the screen with Millie Alcock, and like if he's gonna be very reoccurring to the point where you even see him in like multiple different projects, DC projects. I don't see why not. But yeah, I mean, it's that thin line between like inspired casting and uninspired casting, and I just feel like it's a case of like, you know, Jason Momoa wants to play the character fits him, so like just give it to him. And at the same time, like, again, going from being that A-list star with your own billion-dollar movie, it is a change of pace. But at the same time, I feel like Jason Momoa would at this point doesn't even care about any incentives or money revolving
Yeah,
around this character. I feel like he's just happy to play
to
him.
play the character.
So,
Yeah.
that all speaks well, and hopefully it turns out to be a banger because I see it. I think everybody pretty much sees it. It's
Yeah,
just,
he's got it
how
down.
will it
He's already
translate?
sharing
Because
posts of the cigar in his mouth, and like he's
yeah,
already starting his own like
he's hype. You can
marketing
tell he's
camp.
hype about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, I pretty much I'm there with you. I'm super stoked for this. I kind of see where they can plug Lobo into this story because they've already casted the villain. A lot of people think Jason Momoa is gonna be the
So
villain.
is Lobo not in Woman Tomorrow?
No, he's not.
Oh, okay. I thought he was. Okay.
No, Tom King wanted to put Lobo in there, but editors told him like don't do that, and so it just became
So you
like
think
this
they're
so
kind of
more.
doing a reverse? Like they're like Tom King wanted to have Lobo, but we couldn't have it. And then they're doing the Woman of Tomorrow adaptation. They're like, well, we can actually do
Now,
Lobo
yeah,
now, so
now
let's just
you
do
can
it.
do it. Yeah,
Okay.
and there's like a bounty hunter character in there. So like I'd imagine they're just gonna replace that character with Lobo because Lobo's a bounty hunter,
Yeah.
and then obviously probably crank up his screen time a little more because you want to market Jason Momoa. I mean, he's by far the biggest movie star in this cast, so far, and yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes. I love this choice though. I think he's perfect. I think he's got everything down. I am wondering, how much they'll do with his effects, whether that's CGI or I think it'll be
I really
practical.
wonder.
But
I
I just
wonder.
wonder if it's gonna be like they're gonna paint him, or if they're gonna go like the Drax route, where like he's wearing like full on silicone prosthetics, like on his
Or
entire body.
I mean, I don't see why they would do this, but like they could totally give him a bodysuit, like,
That
and
too,
just
but
have him looking ridiculous.
I don't
Like,
see that being the case.
I wonder how it'll translate because I don't. I mean, as far as I know, Lobo's only been adapted into live action like once on the Krypton series,
Yeah, I think
and
so.
like that was a decent looking Lobo. Like
It was a
he
decent
looked decent,
adaptation. He was a bit
but at the
small, but
same
like,
time, that's what I'm saying. At the same time, I feel like him being an actual human actor was holding that design back. So I wonder if they're
I
just
don't think
I don't know.
so.
I don't know.
I
I
don't think the
wonder. I don't know.
design's really like Lobo's design is iconic, but I think it's more so his personality that's so big and larger than life. That's like part of his character. I
And
think
Momoa
Jason's,
fits the bill
yeah, I
perfectly
think
for
he's
that.
got it, and I'm curious to see how much he'll be in the movie. And I can totally see this leading to like solo projects. Like if Woman of Tomorrow ends up being a huge success and people are talking about Jason Momoa, I am fully expecting either a series or a mid-budget film greenlit. I am fully expecting it. Jason Momoa has proven he can obviously lead his own movie, be a leading man, carry a franchise by himself. And I imagine, in a Lobo movie, space traveling bounty hunter, if he were to get his own project, you can do some fun things. You can pepper in some other characters from the cosmos, maybe a Green Lantern, maybe, stuff like that. And yeah, I'm very curious to see how this ends up being, but you've got Craig Gillespie at the helm. He hasn't failed me at all yet. And it's just shaping up to it looks very good. I'm curious to see, how much of this movie will look like the comic. I'm very
Jason Momoa is totally gonna pull a Tom Holland and just fucking
be
spoils
that be
some of
that
this
character.
shit,
Oh,
man.
you think so?
He's totally gonna,
You
bro.
think so?
He is literally ecstatic to be playing Lobo. As soon as
He
he
posted the
gets in
script
the
as soon.
makeup trailer and they do the makeup on him and he's getting ready to
He's
film,
about
he's
to
gonna fuck around and
selfie,
post a self
go on
a
live on
mirror
IG.
selfie or something. Bro. Like I can just smell it.
Yeah, I'm curious because while I love Craig Gillespie's work, Woman of Tomorrow is quite the behemoth of a visual story. Like it is, If I could flip through this, I'll flip, go to a random spot. Like look at that. Y'all see this? Y'all see this? I'm flipping through it right now, and it's like it's one of those stories where like the visuals are integral, and no, I'm not expecting a 1-to-1 of everything, but it's got to give me that cosmic sense that is in the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow story. This is a story about like just traveling through space, trying to on revenge, pretty much like Furiosa in space or True Grit in space. It's actually more closer to like True Grit now that I think about it. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm curious to see what Jason's gonna bring to the role, and yeah, that's my
very curious about Millie Alcock. I was like the only Supergirl casting that enticed me in any capacity. I was like,
it was really down to her.
I'll try to be like, nah.
I would have been okay with either.
The fact that they went with Millie Alcock, I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
Let them cook. As for like the Aquaman debacle, I didn't expect him to come back as Aquaman, not even for a second. Nah. It seems like
it would have been great, but
the Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad stuff, it seems like James Gunn like really wants to make it clear that this is not the DCEU. None of our Justice League members are the same or played by the same actor. And I do think he wants to tackle more traditional versions of these characters before doing something, very different. I mean, there's still a possibility for Elseworld stuff while the DCU goes on, but yeah, as for my thoughts, I loved his Aquaman, but it's not. I don't feel like I just got stabbed with him being Lobo.
How do you top that Aquaman suit?
That's pretty much the perfect Aquaman suit.
How do you
just use it? Just reuse it.
That's what I'm saying. How do you do like a different suit but try to make it just as good, if not better?
I mean,
and try to make it comic accurate.
You want Alan Richardson as Batman when Aquaman's right there for him. I'm just saying. It's right there for him for the taking. Just make him Aquaman.
I just think Alan Richardson as Batman is just...
That would be so poetic. Him being Aquaman in Smallville and then coming back to play Aquaman. Now that he actually looks like Aquaman, like he's huge. He's got the look.
He's actually casted as Aquaman and has the Smallville suit on.
They just give him the Smallville suit. I don't know, but you guys
just to show off his guns, they give him the vest and shit like.
Dude, those suits were all just like jackets and zippers and like coats.
CW, everybody. You're watching a CW show when you know.
Hey, Smallville was revolutionary. Smallville.
They got some good suits, but bro, they love them jackets.
They do love their zippers.
Them leather jackets be looking at CW employees and executives like the Green Goblin mask. I swear to God, bro. They just be sitting there staring at leather and zippers, and they be like, bro, like.
But yeah, you guys tell us in the comments below. What'd you think? Obviously, subscribe, click the bell, all that jazz. But yeah, let us know your thoughts down below. But this next topic we got is our top 10 most anticipated movies of 2025. There's a lot. The writer's strike. The writer's strike really delayed a lot of these bigger movies from 2024 to 2025. And so now we have a summer that looks ridiculous. It doesn't even seem real. I'm not going to lie. But
Captain America 4 is sweeping.
We're going to go through our top 10. We're going to go one by one. We'll start with some honorable mentions because, there's some that didn't quite make our lists that we want to acknowledge. You can name yours off first.
Okay. So for one of my honorable mentions, I'm going to say the Lilo and Stitch live action movie.
He looks so good.
But that's the reason, right? And honestly, if it wasn't for seeing the Stitch design, it probably wouldn't even be in my honorable mentions. And Lin-Manuel being on the music. Honestly, if it wasn't for that, it probably wouldn't even be in my mentions. Aside from me just really liking the Lilo and Stitch movie, it probably wouldn't be in my honorable mentions. But that Lilo and Stitch live action design is so good. Perfect. And they got the voice They got the same dude voicing Stitch,
That
and
did
the way
Wild
that they're going
Robot.
about with the marketing for Stitch, I'm there. So I can't wait to see what that is like. I think it's going to be a banger.
Mm-hmm. Any more?
Another one, Mortal Kombat 2. Hear
Mortal
me out.
Kombat 2.
Hear me
Okay.
out before everybody gets, hey, what? The first one was trash and this and that. Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay. Big Mortal Kombat guy. Big Mortal Kombat guy. Like, I love the video games. I used to play them sacrilegiously. Like, dude, like, I used to play them so freaking much. And as far as the first Mortal Kombat movie goes that released during the pandemic was 2021,
20, I think 2021.
I think it was 2021. As far as that movie goes, I didn't hate it. I actually really liked some elements of it that I feel like were missing from the old Mortal Kombat movie. Even though I
Mm-hmm.
think that one is a bit more, true to what it's adapting. I feel like there's some things, there's some bright spots in that
Yeah.
2021 movie that I like. The effects were pretty good. I liked like the different costume designs and some of the castings. Like Kano was just a great like
Yeah. He
character
was
in
like
the
the
movie.
standout from that
The
movie.
fatalities look amazing. I mean,
Sick.
the Kung Lao fatality still lives in my head rent free,
Yeah.
bro. Flawless victory. Like, bro, it
Which
just
didn't
it
really make
lives.
sense in the movie, but
It
like
doesn't, but I don't care, right? I do not care. It's a Mortal Kombat movie. So I am looking forward to Mortal Kombat 2. Carl Urban is playing Johnny Cage. Like, he's
hmm
probably gonna just steal the entire movie,
we'll
to be
see how it
honest.
is. We'll
We'll,
see.
we'll, we'll see. We'll see. I hope it's really good. So that's another one of my honorable mentions. And then, of course, Ballerina, from the world
From
of
the world
John
of
Wick,
John Wick,
Ballerina.
ballerina.
My mistake. Yeah, the trailer that came out, really liked it. I really liked it. I think Ana de Armas is gonna be, pretty good. And yeah, I mean, just more from the world of John Wick. Even though I didn't watch the Continental series, I think this looks pretty good. And I'm always
hmm
down for some action flicks. Big action guy over here, so Ballerina looks pretty good to me. I can't wait for that. And then second to last, got How to Train Your Dragon live action adaptation.
Nice.
I don't. I'm just gonna be quite honest with you guys. Okay, I'm kind of on the fence about this movie because while I think they're gonna knock it out of the park, I also think that there are some things as far as the trailer goes that could not hit and just feel like a poor imitation of trying to be the animation.
Yeah,
But you
that's
got the
definitely
same
possible.
composer, you got the
You have the same
score, right?
director. Everyone's pretty
Same
much back.
director. You got some
Everyone's
pretty
back.
good castings in there, bro. Gerard, I'm sorry, you got Gerard Butler playing the role, bro. Like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, there's some things in there that just speak to me. The really accurate designs of the dragons to the animations. I
hmm
can't wait for How to Train Your Dragon, honestly. And then lastly, from my honorable mentions, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Obviously,
Nice.
it doesn't need to be said. I mean, we got like one set photo from it, or like one little Entertainment
Yeah,
Weekly
yeah.
photo from it, and obviously it just looks beautiful. But yeah, Guillermo del Toro is, a director of mine that a director's work that I just really appreciate overall, and seeing him tackle a monster movie like a
hmm
Frankenstein, I just can't wait for it. His tones and stuff like that, I can't wait. So those are my honorable mentions. Okay.
That's nice. Now I do some of my honorable mentions, or I think just one was High Trainer Dragon. So I'm not gonna use that. I'll just talk about a different five,
Okay.
or just like there's a ton I could list off. Like I'm excited for the Predator movie, the Shrouds, the upcoming Cronenberg movie, Marty Supreme, one of the Safdie brothers movie with Timothy Chalamet, and then like Friendship with Paul Rudd. But the main ones, like right on the cusp of my top 10, are number one, Fantastic Four. Well, I guess that would be number 15 or five. But the
Really?
Fantastic Four, yeah, the Fantastic Four. I just have to see something because like there's so many things that I'm hearing that sound good. I'm seeing like mole man structures being made behind the scenes, and I love the cast. And obviously like the aesthetic they're going for, but like it's outside the MCU, and like I don't know exactly what story we're telling here because like we got Galactus as the villain and Silver Surfer's in it apparently. So are we doing a Rise of Silver Surfer situation again? or like how are they gonna come into the MCU? Is this
There's
gonna
even
set
rumors
up?
of Doom being in the
That's what I
movie.
was gonna say. How are they gonna set up Doctor Doom if that's happening? A lot of
We're not gonna
questions.
know until we see this
But
trailer.
yeah,
We're
I
not gonna.
like the aesthetic, the cast. I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan. I just, that RDJ casting like crushed me. Like so, like I just hope that this ends up being good. Matt Shakman, obviously a well-known figure in the television space, and that's kind of my hesitation. Is he has not made a movie in over a decade, and he's only made one, and it's not the
Yeah.
best. And so this is a big leap, jumping from the shows, and he's done a bunch of great television that I love. But I'm curious to see how this jump exactly goes. And then for my number 4, it's gonna be The Life of Chuck, man. This movie by Mike Flanagan with Tom Hiddleston, and it's based on. I want to say it's based on a Stephen King book. I don't know. I don't know if I'm sure, but everything about it sounds phenomenal. It's got nothing but praises from festival circuits. It was supposed to drop this year, but they pushed it to next year because they think it has true chances for maybe a screenplay award, just big awards buzz coming from it, and just the wholesomeness that comes off of this film. I hear there's sequences that are amazing, and it just follows the life of this person, from a child to obviously being an elder, but how much his positivity affects the people around him. And I just love a message like that. And yeah, everything I hear about it, it's like everything is positive about it. Every time I hear someone talk about it, I've seen reviews, and yeah, it's just got me very interested. And then I'm gonna go with for number 3, the Toxic Avenger. I don't know if this is dropping this year. Listen, I don't know if it's dropping this year.
Really?
So this is like a flip flop. Like if this isn't, then I'll say Wicked for good. But if it is, the Toxic Avenger takes that place. Obviously with Wicked, I wasn't expecting much from the first part. I didn't even know much about Wicked outside of a couple things related to Wizard of Oz. Now I'm hype. Now I'm there. I'm there for part 2. Absolutely.
I
But
didn't watch it.
the
I
Toxic
didn't watch
Avengers just it's one of those things. I think it's made by Megan Blair. He was in
I
Oppenheimer
did
recently.
not think that Toxic Avenger would be.
Um, I've just been looking for this so much ever since it premiered 2 years ago at film festivals, and they haven't give it a distribution. They haven't given it a release date. So for a year, the whole year of 2024, I was looking for the Toxic Avenger. When is it dropping? Nothing, and I'm scared this might not even release.
Peter Dinklage is out
Hopefully,
there fighting for his life, man.
yeah, and I just like I mean the OG, it's a bit sensitive like with what it's doing. So if you got like, a weak stomach or the way society is now, you would never be able to release that movie today. But it's just the schlockiness, just the raunchiness, just like I just everything I hear from it and how Macon Blair approached it. He knows what kind of movie it is, and even the trailer, it's got a little a camp to it. Like I love everything about it, and then obviously the effects, the gore, all that. I just want to see it. That's mainly my reason for being so excited. And then for my 2, I'm gonna say Mickey 17.
Okay.
Obviously, the trailer amazing. Come from the same guy.
I thought the
Boon John
trailer
Ho.
was like
I thought it was really
eh.
good, but it's coming from the
I thought it
man
was
that
good, but
did
like I expected more.
Parasite, The Host, and
Yeah.
you got Robert
Dang.
Pattinson playing 2 people, and it just looks like a utter blast of a movie.
Can
It was
double the
supposed to come out.
Pattinson even be bad? Like
That's what I'm saying. It was supposed to come out in January. Now, March. They were
yeah.
smart for that. They were smart for that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And then what was that? My 2? And then for
Yeah.
my 1, I'm gonna say I mean obviously you said How to Train Your Dragon, so I'll throw in I'm looking
Okay.
at my list here. Maybe a Jurassic World, maybe. I mean,
Okay.
I'm really
We
excited
are
for
on
Gareth
very
Edwards.
opposite sides right now. I'm just gonna let
Um,
you know that.
I would also throw in Begonia too, but that has like we haven't heard pretty much nothing other than like the synopsis, and I like Yorgos Lanthimos' films, and the concept itself sounds interesting of two people like kidnapping this person they think is from space, and it's just like it just sounds like a ton of fun. I think Emma Stone might be playing the quote unquote alien, but yeah, I'd say Jurassic World then is probably up there. They've got David Koepp coming back to screenwrite from the original Jurassic Park, Gareth Edwards at the helm, so it's probably going to look visually stunning, and the scope and scale is going to be great. Yeah, we're going to get into our top 10. 10, 9, 8, we're going to go back and forth, give out our quick thoughts on why we're excited. For me, I'll start. My number 10 is Sinners, Ryan Coogler, apparently vampires, Michael B. Jordan playing twins in the Jim Crow era. All I didn't even need a trailer, but when we did get it, and the second I heard
that trailer on IMAX
Ludwig's music and it be shot for IMAX, yeah, I'm there day one. Go ahead and drop your 10.
My 10 is going to be Karate Kid Legends.
Ooh, okay.
Come on, man. I mean, we watched the trailer, banger trailer, right? You had like the cool little Chinese vibes. You got, is it Ben Wong or Ben Wang? I don't know, but he's our Karate Kid, and he looks great. Like, he looks great in the role. We got the Karate Kid multiverse collapsing on itself.
I know. I wonder
we got
how
Jackie
these
Chan
are going to connect and what nods
meeting Ralph Macchio, and I'm just I'm so there. Like, it looks good. The actual karate stuff in terms of like the choreography and stuff looks like it's going to be, some of the best, if not, the best.
I hope
so. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's my number 10.
Yeah, for number 9, I've got Nobody 2. Listen. I adore that first Nobody. That being coming out during the pandemic, Bob Odenkirk in this John Wick type movie, and it was amazing. The use of music, the style, and just how much they were able to kind of flesh out, but still simply tell a story in under 90 minutes. And it's like, you got the dude who did The Night Comes for Us in here now. It's most likely going to take that leap.
He's never watched that movie.
I've never seen it, but I hear amazing things from the action, the world building. I hear amazing things. And
the action is incredible.
I feel like this is going to take that jump that John Wick to John Wick 2 took, where we flesh out more of this world. And I'm just interested to see Bob Odenkirk back in this role, getting beat up, getting roughed up.
Bob Odenkirk is going to be like 100 and nobody.
I wonder if Christopher Lloyd will be in here too. I'm just really excited for it. I love that first film. So that's going to be my number 9. You go ahead and give us your number 9.
My number 9 is 28 Years Later. Okay. And the reason it is number 9 and not a little bit higher is just on the fact that I haven't watched 28 Days Later. Right. So I'm not like, super accustomed to
that could go up
the franchise. Yeah, it could go up after I watched 28 Days Later. But yeah, I was really impressed with the trailer. I mean, it was just a phenomenal trailer.
Watching that trailer in IMAX, by the way, was
I missed it unfortunately in IMAX, and
the fact that movie is shot on an iPhone
myself
is absurd.
That is also ridiculous. So yeah, that's my number 9. I really like the trailer. I really like the way it looks. I'm really intrigued as to what kind of story that they're going to tell.
It's supposed to start off a new trilogy. It's supposed to kick off an entirely new trilogy too, which is crazy.
That's my number 9. Can't wait for 28 years later. Yeah.
All right, my number 8 is going to be Avatar: Fire and Ash. Okay. Listen, I am not the biggest fan of the first Avatar. So, like, if this was, like, the second, it wouldn't even be in my 10. But after that second, it's in there. Like, I am
Way of Water is a banger.
Yeah, The Way of Water was phenomenal. And we've got the technology now to where it doesn't just feel like a technological, like a presentation of technology the way like that first Avatar kind of does. It's very derivative story and narratively, but like it got that hype because just what it did in 2009 technically was ridiculous. And obviously in The Way of Water, they obviously broke through with some technology there, but the story and the characters were far more interesting, fleshed out, affecting. And this, dealing with the Fire Tribe, I am beyond excited. What's your number 8, though?
My number 8 is Sinners. Okay. And it is
Mm.
Sinners because, again, watching that trailer in IMAX laser was impeccable. Like, I mean, Ryan Coogler, let's just get one thing out the way, right? Ryan Coogler is a phenomenal
Hasn't missed.
director.
Hasn't missed.
He knows what he's doing, and I just watching the trailer, you can tell Ryan Coogler is he's ripping his shirt and his hair out at the fact that he has to hold back, doing the trailer. Like, he's holding back in
Yeah.
that trailer. You just know he is.
I'm curious to
But
see
the
what they
sound
reveal in the next
design,
one.
Ludwig's score, the cinematography, Michael B. Jordan playing twins. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, the trailer just had me like I just love the way that this trailer, looks and stuff like that. And I can't wait to watch this movie. I think it's gonna be, one of Ryan Coogler's best.
I hope
And
so.
that says
I
a
hope
lot.
so.
That says a ton.
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and move on. Number 7. My number 7 is The Running Man. I mean, we've got, come on, Edgar
I
Wright.
thought this was gonna be in your honorable mentions.
No.
But okay,
No.
I see. Okay, it's in your top 10. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a humongous fan of Edgar Wright. Hasn't made a single bad movie, and he just cares. His scripts are so read through, and he takes his time to make a film, and he delivers every time. Last Night in Soho was like the one time where like he stumbled a little bit, but that's a pandemic movie, and that was phenomenal. Had like iconic imagery in it, and the themes of it was extremely deep. Edgar Wright just tackling a classic remake of a classic, The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you guys have never watched it, it's not the best, but right now it only benefits because back then it was made before reality television was even like a thing. And obviously, it was a lot more sillier and campier. And with this going into it as a remake, we can expect a lot of that levity, especially with Edgar Wright at the helm. But now with reality television, he can commentate on that a little more.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what the budget of this is, but I just know Edgar Wright's going to give us a big world. Like, he's going to flesh things out. He got what, like 80 million or something for Scott Pilgrim, and that film looks phenomenal. Like, it looks amazing. And I'm expecting the touches from his editing to his style of comedy. I love Edgar Wright, and Glenn Powell being the leading man. Like, this got the right ingredients to it. So that's my number 7. What's yours?
All right. My number 7 is actually Jurassic World. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
And this is solely because of the fact that Gareth Edwards is doing the movie. Listen here, people.
That's understandable.
Listen here. Is my mic working? Guys, I love Gareth Edwards. Like, I love his work so bad. And the fact that he's tackling a Jurassic World movie is like not only is it something that I never could have imagined in like 1,000 million bajillion years, but I know who Gareth Edwards is. And the fact that he has this glorious IP like the Jurassic IP, right? And he's tackling it sparks all the more confidence because Gareth Edwards ain't gonna come in and just take a payday.
Yeah, I'm sure he knows the franchise is down.
Big franchise, and cool. I get to do a Jurassic World movie. Oh wow, there's a lot of zeros on my contract. Okay, well, I'll just do this movie for you guys. No, he's gonna try and knock it out of the goddamn park, and so I cannot wait. And the cast with Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali. Like, I'm really intrigued as to what kind of story Gareth Edwards is going to tell. And like you said, with the original writer coming back, I wonder what they're going to go with. It kind of seems a little bit like they're going back to the roots of the OG movies, but just knowing Gareth Edwards is on it, I cannot wait for that movie. So that's my number 7.
Well said. My number 6, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Boom.
This franchise, now, don't hate me for what I'm going to say. While I think it has gotten better and better each installment, I do think Dead Reckoning was like the stopping point. Like, I think we've kind of reached like how good these movies can get. I am curious to see if I eat my words with the final reckoning, but I really enjoyed Dead Reckoning. And if this is the final installment, hopefully this is a great crescendo to the franchise. I think this is the longest running franchise, movie
Really?
franchise. I can't think of a movie franchise that's longer running like consistently. You can say Tron, but come on, we're not counting Tron. We're not counting that type of stuff like legacy sequels like Twisters. We're not
Fast and
counting.
Furious.
No, that's not longer. Fast and Furious started in like
Oh
'01.
wow.
Like yeah, I'm very excited. You got Tom Cruise back, the whole gang, and I want to see how this concludes. I want it to be emotionally satisfying, and that trailer is amazing. And yeah, that's my number 6. What about you?
My number 6 is F1,
Okay,
and I'm gonna
we're
be
really
honest with
close.
you guys. I'm gonna be honest with you guys here. It would have been higher if I got more out of that trailer, but that trailer was enough to put it in
Go
this
watch our
top
trailer
10.
reaction for that.
Let me tell you something. That trailer was more than enough to put it in this top 10. Seeing as it's in my number 6 spot. Again, Joseph Kosinski is doing the movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's just, I mean, he knows what he's doing. Like he just knows what he's doing, and the fact that he's doing a racing movie, we don't got a lot of amazing
We
looking and
don't.
amazing racing movies, and so the fact that he's tackling this with Brad Pitt in the role, he's probably gonna look. It's super expensive, so it's probably gonna look super expensive. And the kinds of filming techniques that Kaczynski is probably gonna utilize on this movie
Mm-hmm.
is, I mean, as you can see from the trailer, it's looking like it's going to be really good. And with Damson Idris being in the mix, and I, I can't say enough. And the F1 tag, you're probably going to have some like cool ass posters and cool ass tags.
There's
I
probably
like
gonna
that
be
the
so many
movies, like, it's
cameos,
just called
so many
F1.
F1
I like that it's
racing
just
cameos.
called
I know
F1.
that is
I
sick.
dude, I cannot wait for this movie. I truly think it's gonna be like the Top Gun of racing movies. So I can't wait. That was easy to slide in my top 10, but that's my
Yeah.
number 6.
That's my number 5. So yeah, we're like
Okay.
pretty right there with it. You just took the words out of my mouth. Like Joseph Kosinski now has not made the greatest movies, but one thing you can expect every time, it's going to be technically well crafted. We don't talk about Spiderhead. That was a movie he made just for Netflix because there were zeros on the paper. But when we're talking about the movies that he wanted to make, I mean, I'm not even the biggest fan of Tron Legacy, but other than CGI Jeff Bridges, the movie on a technical level is like ridiculous.
Amazing.
Like ridiculous. And Top
Amazing.
Gun, enough said. That was my favorite movie of 2022. And it's like him taking that same approach, that same experience he's had over the last decade, doing a racing movie where, we've got the Ford versus Ferraris, the Grand Prix, the even Gran Turismo I enjoyed, Rush, but there's not like an abundance of phenomenal racing movies like you said. He has the chance to make that humongous splash, and I'm so eager to see what he brings to this. Brad Pitt's in the role, like enough said. And that trailer got me hyped. Go watch our trailer reaction. Yeah, that's my number 5.
Super hype.
Go ahead and give your top.
My
Now we're in the
number
top
5.
5. Now we're in the top 5,
Okay.
by the way.
We're in the top 5 now. My number 5 is going to be Superman. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Superman is in my top
Okay.
5. I'm going to tell you why it's in my 5. Okay. I'm going to tell you why it's 5 and not any more higher. Okay. Well,
All right.
number 1, the movies that are higher than Superman on this list, they kind of deserve to be. I'm just going to be straight honest with you.
All right. All
But
right.
also, the trailer just, I don't know, like it was good, but it wasn't enough for me to just right out just be like, I can't wait. This movie's going to be like the best thing ever. It's my most anticipated movie. There's a couple movies lined up that I resonate more with the creators behind it and the ideas behind it. But I mean, yeah, the reason it's at number 5 is, again, there's some stuff also that I like about this trailer. This crypto being in the mix is really, it's a change of pace. It's a fresh breath of air for really just superhero movies in general. I mean, even though we saw Cosmo and Guardians 3, I feel like crypto is just a whole nother. This is just a whole different, ballpark we're in here. So, and then you got like Nicholas Holt as Lex Luthor, who's probably just gonna kill it in the role. And the Clark and Lois dynamic looks like it's gonna be good. and it's really going back to those roots of that classic Superman and that super colorful and bright Superman, but at
Mm-hmm.
the same time looks like it's trying to tell a more a deeper story when it within Superman's character and the emotional battles that he toils with. So yeah, that's why it's only at my number 5. But nonetheless, I am hyped for Superman because I mean, it's Superman. Superman is just dope as hell.
Yeah.
Cape flapping. Boots looking majestic. So I can't wait for the movie. That's my number 5. It's probably higher on your
All
list.
right.
That's my number 5. That's my
My
number.
number 4, you had in your honorable mentions. It's Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Other than the fact that this is
Okay,
a Netflix movie, release your movies in theaters when they look worth it. Netflix, please.
I
I would
agree.
have loved to see The
I
Killer
agree.
in theaters. Would have loved to do that.
Oh, the Killer in
Um,
theaters would have been.
but yeah, I mean, Guillermo del Toro, monster movie. Do I need to say more? He basically gave us one with The Shape of Water, and I love that movie. And
Yeah.
he just has not. I don't think he's missed for me like at all. I don't. Well, from what I've seen, love the Hellboy movies. Love Pan's Labyrinth. Love obviously I said Shape of Water. What else did? Oh, he Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim. Love
Gas.
Pacific Rim.
And then his last Pinocchio movie was amazing. Like he's one of those people that obviously, he doesn't just, he's not a hired gun. He hops on a script and he takes it seriously. And that's why I'm so excited for this. My only downside is the Jacob Elordi casting from Andrew Garfield.
For
It was a
Frankenstein.
downgrade, but I think Jacob Elordi is very talented. It's just, I mean, it's Andrew Garfield. Like that would have
It's
been
Andrew
that would have been
Garfield.
iconic.
Almost anybody is a
Yeah,
downgrade from Andrew
yeah,
Garfield.
yeah. It's but I'm curious to see how it turns out. I'm really excited for it. So that's my number 4. What's yours?
My number 4 is Fantastic Four.
Oh,
See what I did there?
okay.
See what I did there? I
Okay.
totally did not do that on purpose, by the way. Okay, so let's just get into it. It's my number 4 because Pedro Pascal is in the movie. I love me some Pedro Pascal. Vanessa Kirby's in the movie. I feel like Vanessa Kirby and Pedro Pascal's dynamic. I feel like they are casted for a reason, and I feel like
They're about
that
to be
dynamic
explosive.
between
They're about to
dude,
be dynamite.
explosive. You're about to see so many edits and people on Twitter talking about, oh my God, Sue Richards, Reed Storm. Look at them. They just look so.
Rue,
Oh
they're
my
about
God.
to. Oh my God,
I
love
bet you
Rue.
it's just gonna be a banger. You got Evan Moss Backrack in here, arguably the best character in the Bear. Like I'm sorry, Cuz is just
Cousins.
he's Cousin's a goat. So I can't wait to see him in the role
And
as
then
Ben Grimm.
Joseph Quinn
And
doesn't look like
then
he's related to Sue
Joseph.
Storm at all.
And Joseph. Now, nah. In all honesty, I don't think Joseph Quinn is gonna be that bad. And I think
I think
for
he's
the
got the
vision that they're
charm.
going for, I think he's gonna
got
have
the
a certain
charisma.
charm that might work with the movie. The retro futuristic aesthetic of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I've already seen.
Oh, the score! I forgot to mention that score.
I was just about to say. I've already seen Galactus. From the little
from
the
that
Disney
Comic-Con
from the
tease or whatever.
D23 event or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that, dude. I mean, come on, comic accurate Galactus, a chilling shot of him just looking into a building, just massive looking, and then the score, dude. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The Fantastic Four theme sounds great. Galactus's theme.
It's
Just thinking about it.
I mean, Michael
hairs are raising.
Giacchino.
Just thinking about it, hairs are raising. Michael Giacchino is doing the score. So yes, I cannot wait for this movie. I think it's gonna be a super refresher for the MCU. I think it's gonna be something where, after the releases of Captain America 4 and Thunderbolts, once you get this movie and
we're gonna be in
the
full
stuff that's
Fantastic
probably
Four
gonna
hype
be
train,
in it,
hype mode.
I think the marketing behind this movie is going to be fantastic. I mean, I'm all in. I'm all in on this movie. So that's fine. Fantastic Four is my number 4.
Nice. My number 3 is 28 Days Later. I mean, go look at
Years.
28 years later. Go look at our reaction. I just love that original film from Danny Boyle. He also one of the directors where from what I've seen, he has not missed for me. He's made some of my
Great
favorite movies
director.
ever.
Slumdog Millionaire is
Slumdog Millionaire,
one of my most
28 Days Later, one
coveted
of the
movies of all
most
time.
inventive and best horror movies of all time. And then Sunshine, one of the most criminally underrated movies of all time. And a sci-fi movie that deserves to be in the books. Like, phenomenal. And yeah, everything about this starting a new trilogy, him taking these same kind of raw approaches to 28 years later. That cast refined. Cillian Murphy's apparently coming back. ATJ, Jodie
ATJ.
Comer. Like, I mean, there is some stars in here, and just that trailer was. Seeing that trailer in IMAX did something different to me. I'm not even gonna lie. My bodily
Seeing
fluids
that
were
trailer
functioning on a
my
different level.
monitor did something to it.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, there's more I could gush about, but I just love that first film so much, and I'm curious to see how this tackles that lore and kind of that world, and how this starts this new trilogy apparently. But that's my number 3. Give yours.
My number 3, Avatar, Fire and
Ooh.
Ash. 2 words, James Cameron.
Cameron.
I mean, what can I say? James Cameron is just him. Like, I'm sorry. James Cameron is a coveted director who has done multiple blockbuster movies, and every single one is a banger. Like, I mean, I just really love what James Cameron does. Every time he releases a movie, it just speaks to me. Like he has this energy, this blockbuster energy that's kind of lost right now. That's kind of lost, and I just can't wait. And the world that he's built when it comes to Avatar, I mean, not only can you tell that James Cameron is all in on it, and it's like his most prized possession ever.
Yeah, he's making like
it
30
like,
of these.
I mean, The Way of Water looked absolutely incredible,
phenomenal. The 3D too.
One of the honestly. Yeah, the usage of 3D, it's just visually, as far as the theatrical experience goes, one of the greatest theatrical experience, if not the greatest that I've ever had. And then you see the concept artwork for Fire and Ash, and you see the kind of story that he wants to tell with Fire and Ash. I feel like there's going to be some, it looks crazy. I feel like there's going to be some layers here with what he wants to do with that tribe and the characters. And I feel like he's going to like up it from The Way of Water in terms of some deep and like emotional maturity. Layers and maturity. Yeah, I feel like he's just gonna take it up a notch. And yeah, I've just been looking forward to this for so long. I really love the world that he's built out here when it comes to the Na'vi and the whole Avatar world. So seeing the Fire and Ash people, though, I think this is gonna be. I can't wait to just. It's kind of crazy that like it releases in December because like
I think
the last one did too.
Pumping these
and
now.
It's just crazy
now that they've got
me
the technology. I think like he's going in now.
It's just crazy to me that like these big massive blockbusters, because you know James Cameron is just he's a blockbuster guy. It's crazy to me that he just like is like, oh, December should be cool. December should be fine. It's just crazy to me, but yeah, I cannot wait for Avatar. James Cameron, you are my GOAT. Your movie this year is in my number 3.
Nice. My number 2. The man himself, Superman. I mean, what can I say about this movie that I have not gushed over? It's the start of an entirely new cinematic universe. And just the approach they're going with this, it checks everything for me, man. From, I understand the hesitation with all these other characters, and I'm there with you. Obviously, I'm not like, oh, this movie's going to be bad because of it. But I think, if anything, like, if handled correctly, if executed well, like this could be our modern day, like our adaptation of a Kingdom Come, Superman versus the Elite type of story. And I just love the way everything is looking from like the Daily Planet. It just looks like it is so alive. Like it looks like people are walking in and out of there and have big personalities, and the interactions between characters look like they're going to be amazing. I mean, Clark and Lois, they just look so perfect. Like everything about them is like, I'm going to love them. And then obviously the inclusion of Crypto was amazing. and just the cast, and I love what this movie is doing visually. You know, it doesn't look like the best thing since sliced bread, but I think for this genre where the MCU is getting a little stale to some people, and we just had 3 stinkers from Sony in 1 year.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of injection the superhero genre needs right now, because obviously Beyond the Spider-Verse is going through its challenges.
Yeah.
Shamik more. And then, but yeah, when I look at movies to like, you know, inspire and to kind of lead us in the proper directions, it's a movie like this. I'm not asking every comic book movie after this to look like Superman. I'm asking it to look different like Superman. Superman does not look like everything else. It is taking visual approaches and swings that you might not like, but it's taking them. And I fully appreciate that, and it's what we need. And yeah, just the injection of color and brightness and the inspiration and hope that I felt from that trailer. It's everything. Obviously, James Gunn at the helm, he's like 7 for 7 at this point with comic book projects for me. So until I'm like I get proven or knocked off the seesaw or something in some way, it's, you know, I'm hyped for it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this huge cinematic universe begins. But go ahead and give your number 2.
My number 2 is Michael.
Okay.
And I know that is kind of crazy because there is no trailer for it or anything, but listen, hear me out here. Hear me out here, everybody. I'm just gonna be straight up honest. I'm probably the biggest Michael Jackson fan on this platform. I'm just gonna be honest.
On this platform?
Like,
I'm sure there's dedicated Michael Jackson accounts.
I mean, I don't mean on this platform. I just mean this side of the platform. This movie sphere, you know, cape shit, comic book movie side of this sphere. I think I'm the biggest Michael Jackson fan by far. I mean, if it wasn't for me, like just being super little and listening to Michael Jackson all the time, I would have so much. I would have so much memorabilia from when I was younger. If we kept it. If we just kept it, yeah.
We had probably 20 of those gloves.
I love Michael Jackson, and everything about this movie points to it being a banger. From, you know, the casting of, you know, Michael Jackson. I think it's his nephew. I
think so.
Just looks like a spitting image of Michael. Like, just the casting and, you know, the directors, the writers, all the technical elements. I think. It's not just that I think that it's going to be, you know, a technical masterpiece and, you know, it just can't be bad. I fully think that it has to be, and that those working on the film feel that as well.
The obligation,
I truly feel like there's this collective mind on this movie where everybody is on top and everybody feels like this has to be the greatest thing, so we have to get the greatest minds, and, you know, everything has to be the best. So I cannot wait for this movie. I think it's going to be one of the best movies of the year, like top 5 type of thing. And I think it's going to be one of my favorite movies personally of all time, because I'm just a huge Michael Jackson fan, and what he's done to me in my personal life just means so much. So that's why it's my number 2, even without a trailer. But let that trailer drop, it'll probably get number 1.
Now I'm curious where your number 1 is, but my number 2 is or my number 1 is what he just said, Michael. Now, for all the reasons that you just said, I want to give a little bit of some hesitation, because I think everything about this looks good so far. My only hesitation, I have 2 hesitations. One, will they tackle some of the controversial and problematic stuff, or will they play it safe and just do the biopic from the rise of a star, or will we actually dive deep into some of that stuff? And then my second is I don't know his name. I'm blanking on his name, but the person playing Michael Jackson, obviously his nephew. He looks phenomenal, but he's not an actor, from what I know. So do I think he'll perform well? Most likely, yes. But do I think he will act well? I have no clue. Like, I can't tell you that. And, obviously, there's some great people at the helm, so I trust them. And, yeah, we've just grown up with Michael Jackson, like, from the day we were born to probably, like, 15. It was nothing but that. Like, it
Oh
was
yeah,
on repeat.
bro. When he died, shattered the
The
household.
household was
The household wasn't the same. Let me tell you
we
something.
didn't even believe it. Like it was rough. And yeah, there's videos that like we have even to this day on our phones and just of us, singing songs, dressing up as him.
Giving it our all,
Multiple Halloweens,
bro.
by the way. Multiple
Bro,
Halloweens.
giving it my all, bro. When I tell you there's videos of me 7 years old dancing to Billie Jean,
I don't
giving
even
it my
think
all, like I'm literally in Motown,
I don't
like
think
doing it, bro.
we would have even like a quarter of the rhythm or kind of like able to dance that we have if it wasn't for Michael Jackson. Like we didn't even like our family members have taken dance classes. We didn't even really take dance classes, and we were like popping MJ moves.
Yeah.
Like we were trying to learn it from the most minute detail to the biggest moves. Everything from the moonwalk. I remember when I first learned the moonwalk and I got it down. I felt like I was on the moon. Like I really did, and it was
Yeah.
it was amazing. And that's the king of pop. That's the GOAT. And I don't know
It
if
really
any
is.
other
That's
artist will ever reach the heights of Michael Jackson.
Greatest artist of all time, right there, man.
And yeah, I'm curious to see what this does. Will it even like do or tackle any of his younger side?
Yeah, that's
Like,
the thing.
will we
We
go
really
through
don't
some
know
Jackson
any
5
of that.
stuff, or is it just the MJ stuff? I'm curious. But yeah, that's just by far the movie. If I had to buy a ticket for one movie all year, Superman's right there, but Michael Jackson's the one where I'm like, I need to watch Michael. Like I need to see what this movie's about. And yeah, go ahead and give your number one because I'm really curious what you have here.
My number one, you probably haven't even noticed that I haven't even said it. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Oh, okay.
Let me tell you something. I'm probably the biggest Mission Impossible fan on this side of the platform. I'm gonna say it again. Probably the biggest Mission Impossible fan on this side of the platform. Man, if I could, I would have every Mission Impossible movie on 4K. But like, I don't know why they be upcharging the shit out of those movies on 4K. But let me tell you something. I love the Mission Impossible movies. When I'm talking about Mission Impossible 2, I love the Mission Impossible movies. MI1, MI3, we don't talk about 2, MI4, like Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, bro. I love it, man. I love Tom Cruise in the Ethan Hunt role. I love the cast that they've built around him with Ving Rhames as Luther and, obviously, what's his name from
Simon
the
Pegg?
Edgar Wright movie, Simon Pegg, obviously, and, Rebecca Ferguson. And I really can't wait for this final reckoning and then the trailer. Come on, man. The trailer
was amazing.
Oh, that trailer was so good. And watching that trailer in IMAX made my loins tingle. Let me tell you something, man. I cannot wait for this movie. If there was one movie that I could pay a ticket for and, I have to see it, it is this movie right here. I love the franchise. It said that it's the final movie, so I know they're going out with the bang. I mean, you could tell some of the stunts in the trailer are going to be absolutely ridiculous. It already, if I'm being honest with you, it already looks better than Dead Reckoning. Dead Reckoning was a banger to me, so I really can't wait. I mean, it's Tom Cruise, it's Christopher McQuarrie, it's the Final Reckoning, it's Mission Impossible. What more need be said? It's my number one.
Well said. That's our top 10 most anticipated movies for this year. Go ahead and drop yours in the comments below. And yeah, if you made it this far, go ahead and let us know your thoughts on our rankings, and also like, subscribe, click the bell, all that jazz. But please, like I said, do not forget to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. But now we're going to go ahead and jump into our third topic. We're going to go ahead and quickly give you our best and worst movies from 2024. And, this is just going to be a compilation or a collection of films we saw last year that we liked and really didn't like. And, no more need be said because I did feel the need to kind of wrap out 2024 and we never really made a video.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start with worst because I kind of want to end this on a positive note.
Okay.
As for like the movies I really did not like from last year, I mean, Brothers was such a hard watch. I watched this movie called Brothers on Prime, and it was with Josh
It's a
Brolin and
Josh
Peter
Brolin movie.
Dinklage.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be funny, and I really liked the trailer, and it was a pain sitting through this. It was rough. It was from the same guy that did like Palm Springs, which I love. So I was like, oh, maybe this would be a little, nice little hour and a half, 2 hour like kickback, little laugh. I laughed maybe like twice, and it was at Marissa Tomei. None of it was from Peter Dinklage or Josh Brolin. It was rough, like the whole time getting through. It was at a point where like by an hour in, I wanted to turn off, but I was like, I'm already an hour in. Like I was like, I'm already doing this to myself.
Might as well finish it.
Yeah, Argyle's in there, of course. Venom 3's in there. Didn't really like The Beekeeper. Wasn't a big fan of Rebel Moon Part 1, the Netflix cut or whatever, or Part 2. And then like Roadhouse. Those were like my bottoms, like my bottom 5 or whatever. You can give yours though. But yeah, those are the
okay. I thought Argyle was the worst movie I've watched this year.
Okay.
I mean, I listen, I was there and then I totally was not. Like, I just wasn't even close to there. I was so far out of there that I don't know. Like, again, Matthew Vaughn is kind of on this, he's kind of on this streak of like,
he's in a rough patch right now.
Yeah, just rough work. And this is no different. I mean, this is probably the worst thing he's done.
Yeah, by far.
Really lost me. Took it over the top multiple times, way too far. 2 hours and like 20 minutes.
Too long.
Too long.
That hurt.
And you can feel it in multiple sequences. Long overstaying its welcome. So that I really didn't like that. Venom 3 also complete garbage. I mean, like from front to back, complete garbage. I mean, so bad that it makes me appreciate Venom 1 so much more and Let There Be Carnage. Like, it makes me appreciate those movies so much more. I'm like, oh, dude, I got out of Venom 3 and I started rethinking shit. I was like, dude, was Venom like one like an actually like good comic book? Like, was Venom Let There Be Carnage like a banger comic movie? Dude, Venom The Last Dance. Venom The Last Dance just it wasn't good in any aspects. Not even the Venom aspects are good anymore in that movie. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire was a tough watch for me. A really tough watch. And even though I like ghost busting and I like Paul Rudd, this just wasn't doing it for me. And I think part of it is the massive disappointment I got because I really liked what I saw in the trailer.
Like Afterlife and the trailers.
And Afterlife. I feel like this, like, being so bad just left a much worse taste in my mouth than it would have if it wasn't.
It seems like they delivered a first draft of the script and like didn't revise it. Like, it was.
It does nothing any of the Ghostbusters do well, and does all the things that the bad Ghostbusters movies do bad. So I really did not like this. Roadhouse is right there too, obviously. I mean, nobody really expected it to be like a banger movie. It was kind of just
I thought it served its purpose. The action when it was there, it was action.
Pretty good.
It was good. It was shot well. Harry brought him, and like it was a. It was a slacky movie. They're making it was like the most watched Prime movie though. Crazy.
I gotta put Abigail there. I just did not like Abigail. And this is coming from somebody who was so on board with the idea and the trailer of Abigail. I was so there. I don't think y'all understand. Like, when the trailer dropped, I was like,
Dan Stevens still has like one of the best deliveries from last year though. those are fucking onions.
Those are
Like,
fucking onions. But yeah, I just thought this was piss poor. I thought the usage of some of these characters and some of these actors was downright just terrible. And
all
I
right.
thought the Abigail, the whole premise of the little ballerina girl, I think that being a vampire, I think the movie falls apart like very quickly,
Mm,
and it got to the point where I just felt like I was going through the motions and watching another generic ass horror movie, and I really just again I was so hyped for it, so maybe that's why it's this low for me because it's again another movie that just
didn't
made the
meet
bad taste in my mouth
expectations.
so much worse because of that. So yeah, and then obviously I'll just throw this in there just for the fuck of it. Godzilla X Kong is the worst monster movie in the monster verse. It's completely garbage. It looks like trash. I don't care. I don't even care for like most of the kaiju action. Um yeah, not sure what they were cooking there, but hey, Monarch was decent, so at least we got that to look forward to.
Yeah, and then as for like our best, I mean, I'm gonna just roll through my top 10, because I don't think I need to. Well, I guess I'll give like a short explanation why. Um, but I do want to give some nods to some that didn't quite make it. Uh, Dee Dee, I absolutely adored. Great, like coming of age story during like the MySpace era. Made me really miss like my nostalgia. It really hit the nostalgia points. Thelma is some of the most fun I've had with any movie all year last year. And Wicked, obviously, that was like, I didn't expect it to be that great. The Wild Robot, phenomenal. And then Strange Darling, another movie that like was super caught off guard. But as for my top 10 challengers, really enjoyed it. The vibes were on 10. Luca cooked. I mean, such sexual tension and a script that unfolds and uses time and also just storytelling to its advantage. And then Look Back, phenomenal. Like one of my favorite pieces of animation media from last year. It's only like 50 minutes, but fucking crushed me. Absolutely tore me. Nosferatu, I mean, I could glaze that movie all day. Like it looks phenomenal. It's a tried and true story, but delivered in Robert Eggers fashion. So it obviously has the visuals that are pulping, and he's like a time period master at this point. And then the
Yeah,
Substance, probably my favorite horror movie from last year. Like thinking back on it, it has too much just it is so original and stylish, and the performances are off the charts. The effects, the sound design, everything about that movie, I absolutely love it. And it goes for it in those final 10 minutes. Almost jumps the shark, but like it's like it makes choices where I'm like, thank you. Like the fact that this is getting awards buzz too, it makes me so happy
crazy.
because it's the type of movie that you'd think they wouldn't acknowledge because it's taking such a swing. And I'm glad that it is being acknowledged because movies should be taking these types of swings. Flow, my favorite animated movie from last year, just phenomenal visual storytelling, not a single line of dialogue, but the way it tells its story with this cat and these other animals, from low points, conflict, to really uplifting imagery and just moments of levity that'll have you chuckling. And it really like pulled my heartstrings at the end, like a movie that said no words in the modern era, and it got me good. And then my top five, A Real Pain, phenomenal. Jesse Eisenberg, keep cooking, absolutely delivered a phenomenal script. And the use of music in there, Kieran Culkin, dynamite of a performance in there. It was hilarious. Furiosa, what more needs to be said? Just a technical achievement. George Miller comes back and he's like, the movie that you guys just watched, and you know how like I'm making this prequel where you guys know how it's gonna end, it's still gonna bang, and it's like it's amazing. And then my top three: Sing Sing, Anora, and Dune Part Two, all in that order. Loved all three of them. Dune Part Two, obviously, we talked about a technical behemoth, and Anora just such raw and just authenticity to its emotions and character. And then Sing is a type of movie where it's just so easy to get behind the story that they're telling, and how they used people from real prison, reforming. It was amazing. One of my favorites of the year. But go ahead and give yours.
Okay. I'm just gonna start off with some of the movies that are like right outside of my top 10. I truly think the Rebel Moon Part One director's cut is just phenomenal.
Okay.
From from I mean, obviously just the added footage and the R rating. I feel like there are certain shots that Zach takes here with this movie that really help complement what his entire vision was, and the R
Mm,
rating complements it a lot better than
mm-hmm.
trying to make it a PG-13 movie. And overall, I think what is in part one in terms of establishing lore and establishing what some of these characters have gone through and stuff like that, I really dug it. Obviously, super stylistic, sci-fi. I'm so there. But yeah, and then Hitman obviously was a banger. I mean, Hitman was
Loved
just a
Hitman.
Netflix movie that we looked forward to, and it delivered, even more. So,
A notes
Glenn
app scene
Powell
still
and
lives rent free in my head.
it was amazing. Then it's still amazing. When I first watched it, I was completely hooked, and the dynamic between Glenn Powell and Adria Arjona is just, I mean, the no tap scene is a clear, indication of just how good their dynamic was and could be in that movie. And then right outside of number 10, I have Alien Romulus at the number 11 spot because
Nice.
I was in love with this movie. Walking out of the theater, it made some bold choices in terms of the alien lore and doing stuff with it in that third act that just completely made me go over the edge with it. I mean, it made it from, just another good alien movie that we're lucky to have to,
Mm-hmm.
a horror movie that we should cherish, because the stuff that is in this movie, the cinematography, the VFX work, I mean, what this movie was able to do, Fede Alvarez with the IP, I mean, you could clearly tell he just cherishes and loves the IP, and I just really love that movie. Number 10, Inside Out 2. I mean, what do we need?
Nice.
I mean, what need to be said? It's Inside Out 2. It's a sequel to a beloved animated movie, and this is no different here. And especially having a little sister in her teenage years makes this movie hit that much more, because man, is this movie so true. Man, is this so accurate. But yeah, Inside Out 2 is my number 10. My number 9, Gladiator 2. I really
Nice.
love this movie. I love what Ridley Scott went for with this sequel here. I truly, truly think that Paul Mescal in the lead role here is really flying under the radar and underrated for me. I really like the stoicism that he presents without trying to feel like a imitation of, Gerard Butler, Russell
Russell
Crowe in the
Crowe.
original.
Yeah.
I love what he presents in himself here, and it
It's a
feels
bit more
authentic
humble.
to. It's a bit more humble. And that's inherently who his character is. I really like him in this role. Again, Denzel Washington performances all around were just really good. Pedro Pascal. Then the cinematography, the bombastic blockbuster action sequences in here. I really love Gladiator too. Is
Mm-hmm.
that my number 9? Let's go. Number 8, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Okay, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and I truly just think that this is just starting to become an underrated movie. Like I loved this movie from the opening 10 minutes to the last 10 minutes. I mean, everything. I want to see more Noah. I'm just gonna be honest here. I want to see more Noah. I love his character. I love the personalities that surround Noah, and I love the world that's been built out here. Making this Planet of the Apes movie, but in this modern stylistic way with, like, you know, just amazing visual effects.
Yep.
It's probably going to get a nomination this year. I really loved it. Number 7, Challengers. Okay, Challengers
Nice.
was just, I mean, Challengers was a banger. What is there to say? I mean, didn't it just win a Golden Globe for like best score? I
It
mean,
did.
I mean, the score was
Deserved. They
the
actually
score.
gave
I mean,
best score to the best score this time. That's kind of crazy.
don't get me wrong. I had a gripe. I don't know if it was the theater that I was in, but the score so loud that like I couldn't even hear what some
Don't
of these
watch
characters were
Tenet.
saying.
Don't
What's
watch Tenet.
dude, I couldn't even hear what some of these characters were saying, but nevertheless, I thought it was a banger movie. I thought Luca Guadagnino killed it. The cinematography in this movie, I feel like it's starting to become underrated as well. I really like the cinematography in this movie and some
Oh,
of
it's
the
shot
shots that
phenomenally.
Luca goes for the tennis sequences. I just personally would have wanted a little bit more from the tennis sequences, but
Mhm.
that aside, the character dynamics and the relationships that are built throughout the movie to die for. Number six, Kill. Kill is my number
Ooh, that
six.
was like right
It
at
is
my 15th or something like that.
okay. It is at my number six, and it's probably because I'm just an action guru and I love action movies. And it's a
Movie
Bollywood
slap.
action. It's a Hindi action movie, and it slaps. Right? It slaps. The story was very engaging. Just
Hmm.
this entire movie taking place on a train the whole time. I'm bro, and the way that they play with the cultural aspects of Bollywood cinema and how they play into that stuff. I really thought it was great, and the action sequences are just really freaking good. So I really like that movie. At my number five spot, obviously Honora. I mean, once you get to this top
Noise.
five, it's kind of just like just
The greatest
pretty
of
much
the
5 out
year.
of 5 movies.
Yeah.
Again, Sean Baker just cooked. What is there to say? Mikey Madison is probably going to get a nomination, might win an Oscar for her role here in Honora. It was a banger movie with, some great elements, some great narratives, good themes, great
Probably the
storytelling,
funniest movie of the year.
and yeah,
It's
some great laughs
hilarious.
in the theater. It was a really good experience in the theater. Felt really good after watching it, and I truly think that this is, just yet another coveted movie from Sean Baker. And my number four is going to be the Wild Robot. I
Okay.
tried my damnness, tried my hardest to not cry at this movie. And this movie was just killing me. It was stabbing me
It
from
was.
all
It
directions.
really
And
was.
it just at one point it just did not stop. The movie just kept doing it. And I was almost to the point. If I wasn't in that theater alone with my brother, I probably would have had to get up and walk out that much. Like, bro, I was sobbing. I could have sobbed a lot more. I love the score. The animation is beautiful. The story is touching. There's some elements of like multiple different and the greatest animations of all time, like in this movie. I truly think this is a special
Mm.
movie. Lupita Nyong'o here is like one of the her and Pedro Pascal here. They just speak so much to me for in terms of voice performances here. Like I really, really enjoyed their voice performances in this movie. But all around, yeah, a great animated movie, one of the greatest animated movies I've ever watched. Number three, Furiosa. One more need be said. I mean,
Mm.
it's George Miller knocking it out of the park hugely. And
Chris Hemsworth deserves a supporting acting nomination this year,
Chris
by the way, but he
Hemsworth
won't get it
deserves a supporting actor nomination this year. He's one of I mean, arguably just the best antagonist from this
from
year.
last year. Yeah.
Yeah, from last year, and yeah, I really loved the movie. The story that George Miller told, it just felt epic.
Hmm.
It felt like you were really watching it all unfold in like novel
Yeah.
form. It was absolutely amazing. At my number two, Nosferatu. See what I did there?
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu is my number two, and dude, I love this movie. I was sick while watching this movie. I was literally like, I just had a fever and I was so sick watching this movie, trying to hold my coughs in, but nothing could stop me. Nothing could stop me from watching this in IMAX laser and it being an absolute banger. Like the cinematography, the story, the design choices that they go with. I mean, there's just so many special elements about this movie that once I walked out the theater, I was pretty confident in this sitting right next to Dune 2. It was like uh uh just a jumbling
Was it?
situation,
It
right?
was
When I
Count
walked out the
Orlok's
theater.
dick. That's what did it for you. You seen that in
Count Orlok's
IMAX?
count seeing Count Orlok's penis probably is what did it for me. That's probably what really nudged this to number two. Nah, I just really think that this was like masterful stuff. Lily Rose Depp
Atmospheric.
deserves a nomination for her
Yeah.
performance in this movie. It's incredible. And I mean, I literally can't say anything bad about this movie. I loved it from beginning to end. What Robert Eggers did here, this is possibly his best work. And it's one of the greatest horror movies and remakes of all time. I mean, just a special movie. And then obviously at number 1 we got Dune Part
We
2.
both
I
got
don't
Dune.
even need to.
Like,
I don't even there.
there's nothing we
I
can say
mean,
that's new.
there's nothing we can say
It's
that everybody
phenomenal
hasn't
on
said
every
already.
single level.
Absolutely amazing. Just
Everything.
saw a tweet today say I watched Dune the second time and I don't like it. Don't know what that guy is smoking. Need to know who your plug is because I would love to smoke on whatever you're smoking. Because this movie, watched it like 3 times, twice in IMAX laser, and it banged all 3 times.
Every single
It's a
time.
special one. It's a special one,
Yeah.
and Denis Villeneuve is quickly become one of my favorite directors of all time. I'm really looking forward
It's
to
sad
anything
that
he's
this isn't
doing.
getting. It's not getting
It's not
the
getting that much
recognition at the
buzz.
awards. But I warned you
No,
about that. They shouldn't have released that movie in March. They absolutely shouldn't
but
have.
I don't care about
The
any of
hype
that. Fuck
died.
these award shows. Who cares? I don't
No,
even
I don't care
care.
for it,
This
but
is
you
a
would.
special movie.
I mean, I care
That's
for
gonna go in my
great
4K
movies
collection.
getting recognition.
Probably gonna get a poster of this. Probably gonna try and wear the suits that they be wearing in the movie for Halloween. I just love everything about this movie. I truly think Timothée Chalamet should get a nomination as well. Special stuff from Denis Villeneuve here. That's my number 1.
Yeah, those were our best and worst movies from last year, from 2024. And if you made this far, please like the video, subscribe, and click that bell. But do not forget to let us know your thoughts on all of this down in the comments below. To end this episode off, we're going to do a quick blind ranking. Just a very quick one. He's going to give me 5 movies. I'm going to give him 5. We don't know what movie's next, but we got to put them in order. And we're doing a blind movie ranking. And for him, I'm going to go ahead and give him some sci-fi movies, some science fiction movies. He's got 5 for me as well, too, in a different genre, in a different category. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and give you these 5. Okay. You tell me what order you put them in. The first movie, Tron Legacy. Where are you going to put it?
Oof.
Where are you going to put
Tron Legacy. I'm going to put it at number 5.
Number 5. Okay.
I'm going to put it at... Actually, I'll go number 4. I'll go number 4.
Okay. Number 4. Ready Player One.
Ooh. Love me some Ready Player One. Got that on forecast in my collection, baby. I'm going to put that number 3.
Number 3. Okay.
Steven Spielberg classic. A banger. I love it.
Blade Runner 2049.
Does it get better? It does, but I'm putting that number.
What are the chances?
I'm putting that number 1, man.
Number 1? Okay,
so what? I got 2 and 5. 2 and 5.
You got, Blade Runner number 1, Ready Player One number 3, and Tron Legacy number 4 right now. Okay. Your 4th movie, Jumper.
Damn, I could put that at number 1. I'm kidding, but I love Jumper. I can't believe that. Yeah, it is classified as a sci-fi. It is kind of a sci-fi concept.
Definitely.
Yeah, I unironically love Jumper. Think it deserves a sequel. I'm putting that at number 5, obviously, but I think it deserves a sequel. I want to see another Jumper movie.
Okay, and that leaves you
that movie. Guilty pleasure
with number 2, and that would be Interstellar. So. That's a pretty solid list. I'm not going to lie.
That is a solid list. That's a solid list.
Blade Runner, Interstellar, Ready Player One.
After the IMAX laser Interstellar viewing.
No, that was crazy.
Brother, oh my God. Crazy. Do you understand that after that viewing, I went right to Letterboxd and logged that shit as my favorite movie of all time? It was that impactful to me in the theater.
I think at one point, I don't know if I'm correct, but... I looked down and my feet were off the ground about 4 or 5 inches.
My ass couldn't feel the seat at one point. It was weird. Didn't know what was going on there.
That movie.
But yeah, I guess that's my number 2. But that last viewing, if you haven't watched Interstellar, go watch it. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. Period.
Phenomenal.
Now it's time for your blind ranking.
What's
of DC movies?
DC movies. Oh, okay.
Here we are. Yeah, I got y'all. I got y'all. The stuff that y'all want to know, I got y'all. Okay.
Okay.
For the first movie, Gonna go the Batman.
The Batman. How many comic book movies do I like more? And what are the chances those are going to be picked? I'm going to be safe. I'll put the Batman at 3. Right in the middle.
Okay.
Right in the middle.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. For your second movie, we're going to go with The Suicide Squad.
There are very few movies I like more than The Suicide Squad. Or comic book movies. And that's like one of my favorite comic book movies ever. But there are a couple I like more. So I'm going to throw The Suicide Squad number 2.
All right, number 2. Okay, fair. Yeah. For your third movie, Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. I'm going to safely put that at 4. Safely.
Okay.
I feel like there might be a...
So what? You got 1
and 5.
3 and 5. 1, 3 and 5, right?
No,
or
I got 1 and 5. 1 and 5.
Yeah, 1 and 5. 1 and 5. 1 and 5. Okay. For your fourth movie, Watchmen.
Watchmen, I'm gonna put that at 5. I feel like you're about to tell me a banger.
Okay.
Go ahead and tell me a Spider-Verse movie.
A Spider-Verse movie.
Oh.
DC movies.
Oh yeah. Or The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight.
Yes, that's the last movie.
Okay, yes. The Dark Knight, number 1. Easy. Okay. The only
So your list is The Dark Knight, The Suicide Squad,
The Batman,
Man of Steel, and Watchmen.
Now, my real ranking, I'd just switch Man of Steel and Watchmen. I think Watchmen might be my favorite Zack Snyder movie. Love Watchmen. And then... and
you would keep the Batman at 3?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. I prefer the Suicide Squad and the Dark Knight over it. Okay. Yeah, that was our quick blind ranking. For me, obviously, it was DC movies for him. It was sci-fi movies. If you
do some more of these,
yeah, we'll probably do this like every episode because it's really quick and easy. And yeah, if you guys would like to rank these, go ahead, give us your rankings of these specific 5 sci-fi and DC movies. And yeah, if you made it this far in the video, please like, subscribe, click that bell, all that jazz. Helps us out a ton. And yeah, once again, do not forget to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Double Feature Podcast. And yeah, we had a lot of things to talk about and to go over. And going into this new year, I hope it's nothing but bangers. And we have a lot to talk about. And it seems like it's going to be that way. We've got Creature Commandos.
Only going to crank up from here, folks.
Absolutely.
Only going to crank up.
We've got the Creature Commandos finale. That will be up this Friday. And yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and check out any other videos, you can. But once again, if you made it this far and you haven't, we would very much appreciate if you liked the video, if you subscribed and click that bell. If you're not subbed and if you don't got that bell clicked, what are you doing? It's free, and we make this type of content weekly. But that's going to do it for the Double Feature Podcast. You can follow our socials, as always, which our handles are right below us. Follow the Double Feature Twitter account right there. And then if you want to send any questions, any podcast questions that you want us to cover on the next episode, you can always drop a donation using that link right there on the bottom of your screen, and we'll cover it. But yeah, other than that, it's been your boy Keezy.
Me boy Kills.
And hopefully we see you all in the next one.